Hello everyone, welcome to Asian Digest on ATN. I'm your host Daman Dylan, and if you're a fan of classical Indian music, well, you're going to want to check out the 3rd annual Arohi Music Festival coming up on September 26th. And with details, I've got 2 members of the Malhar group here. I have Mr. Mahesh Nileshwar and Deepali Rana here. Hello, you two.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you both?
Very well.
Excited?
Yes.
We're very excited. September 26th, not that far away. It's coming up very soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're going to tell all our viewers all about this festival. But first, let's take it back a little bit. Tell us about your organization a little bit.
So Malhar Group is a group that was promoted or formed by music aficionados of Hamilton. And so they started, they all liked Indian music.
Okay.
And they started promoting by listening. They started organizing listening sessions at their different groups' homes.
Yeah.
And then they started appreciating, discussing. So what happens is they listen to the music of a certain raga, and then they all discuss. So that's how they all
It's
started.
kind of like a book club then.
Yes, almost like a book club, yeah.
Very cool. And how long ago was this?
That was in 2001.
Okay.
Yeah, so Malhar Group, Anupam Bakshi is the president, and it's his brainchild. So people in Hamilton know, and Indian classical music lovers know a lot about him. And he's formed the Malhar Group, and then it was formed basically to promote and preserve Indian classical music and promote artists in Canada, either from India or outside, from Canada or within Canada. So that's how the Malhar Group was formed.
Very
good. It's doing pretty well.
Yeah, so I think once they started a few regular sessions at everyone's basements, they formally formed the Malhar Group, and this is the 10th year of Malhar Group.
Yeah.
So it was very nice. Earlier this year when we had the listening session, we chose the Rag Malhar to listen to. There are different forms of Rag Malhar. And so we had 10 years celebration. It was fun.
I like it, so it's a milestone. So we're going to make it very special this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just so that our viewers know, so this group, once it was formed though, it's a non-for-profit organization.
That's correct.
So then how do you get the funding to put on these listening sessions and I guess music festivals?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have patron members who have been with us for a very long time, and then we had Trillium Foundation that supports us from a long time, and we have Scotiabank now and Ontario Arts Council who have joined us this year as funders. So that's how we do, and then we sell a little bit of tickets when we have our Spring Fest, which is an annual festival, music festival in Hamilton. So that's how we raise our funds. But we're really looking for some sponsors who can come and help us and promote the cause of Indian classical music.
And new members are always welcome.
Yes.
Of course.
Patrons
How many members do
especially.
we have right now?
We have around 30 patron members.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
and who've been with us for a long time. And then we have regular members, around 100 we have. So it's okay, but it's easier to get people to come to a Bollywood concert than to Indian classical music concert. So we're trying to promote that by bringing eminent artists from India. So hopefully people will support us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like this is the core Indian music. And like everything else evolves from this music. So unfortunately, Bollywood music is always very popular and fun. So they have a lot of coverage and a lot of youngsters, and we always have to do a little bit extra to get attention from all the people. It's a little niche interest that we have. So it is a little tough sometimes, but a lot of people are now getting aware of this. So it's kind of interesting. We have a good result, and at least we get good responses now. So it's good.
And one of the things we do with Trillium Foundation funding is we go take Indian classical instruments and go to schools around Hamilton and demonstrate to the kids, give them hands-on experience so they can play a tabla, they can play a sitar or a violin, the Indian way, and then they get the experience. So they go home and say, Mom, Dad, I want to learn tabla, and we want to build that into the kids. And Malhar Group is working on trying to, like the RCM, we are trying to tie up with an Indian music university to give exams so that kids who learn music within Canada can write exams, and we supervise, we conduct those exams, and the results will come from the university in India. So that's something we're working on.
So you're trying to start them off young.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So when you're going to schools, I'm assuming, especially if it's in Hamilton, it's quite diverse, right?
Yes,
There's not just Indian children in it. So
Yeah.
what is the perception like when the kids first see you come in? They're like, oh, what are you bringing in
Yes,
here?
and basically we have in India there's an organization called Speak Mackay, which goes to has been going to many schools all over India. So we get artists from there who are eminent, I would say students and teachers. So knowing how to play a music is one, but how to teach and how to talk to kids, young kids, like the question you said, is also an art. So when they come in, they play a little bit of a tune, probably something that kids get excited about, and then they want to play and try it out. So that's how we do it.
And the thing is, if you are familiar and if you learn the core Indian music, you can sing any kind of songs. Like you can apply that knowledge because you have got your voice training and you have the knowledge of, how to kind of set your notes and everything. So it does help to sing even Bollywood and Thumris and, different kind of applications.
Well, music, right?
Music is
Yeah.
music, yeah.
So even
To each other.
Western, yeah. So basically, it's the foundation.
Do you find, I know you said you want to educate, especially young people, so it sounds like it's not just keeping classical music alive in the Indian community, but it just sounds like just the general Canadian population.
Oh,
You want
yes.
people to understand this, right?
Yeah, so Malhar Group has two well-known programs. One is Spring Fest, which is held in Hamilton. Arohi is a music festival which was started 3 years ago because there are a lot of requests from people in Greater Toronto area saying, most of the music lovers are seniors or, people. It's very difficult for them to drive down to Hamilton. And even for me, like the concert at Spring Fest finishes at 1 o'clock, and then to drive back to Scarborough is like another hour for me. So I would prefer something to be held close to my home. So Arohi came up, and in the first Arohi Music Festival, we had a Chinese ensemble. So we had Chinese ensemble, and then we had an Indian ensemble, a combination, music we had. So we are trying to promote music, any kind of music, but focusing on Indian classical music.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're telling people a little bit about the Rory Music Festival. We got lots to talk about then. We got to take a little break, so don't go anywhere. We got lots more coming up right after this.
Thank you.
A whisper, a touch, a sensation. Presenting the exquisite jewelry collection by Ashok Jewelers. Witness the twin new creations of ethnic jewelry, a unique blend of traditional and contemporary craftsmanship. Visit our all-new showroom, Ashok Jewelers, where tradition meets luxury. 7198 Airport Road, 1905-71490.
Here we grow again. Morash meets newest location open now.
Welcome back to Asian Digest on ATN. I'm your host, Aman Dylan. And if you're just joining in, we are talking about the 3rd annual Arohi Music Festival. And Mahesh and Deepali are joining me here. Okay, so before the break, we were giving just a little idea. It's the 3rd annual. And for your group, the Malhar group, it's your 10th anniversary.
Yeah,
So it's a very important year. Now, September 26th, it's taking place.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about, do you have something special this year planned?
So September 26th, our 3rd RE Music Festival is being held at Chinmaya Mission Auditorium. And
Where is this?
Chinmaya Mission Auditorium in Brampton.
Brampton, okay.
It's on the Gore Road. So this year we have special where the Arohi Music Festival focuses on, under one roof, you get instrumental, Hindustani classical, Carnatic, all kinds of genres from the Indian classical music under one roof. So it starts at 4 p.m., ends at 8 p.m. And we have a long list of performers, local artists, and this year from
We
students.
have we have like it's split into two. Usually this is the mission of Arohi is mainly to promote the local artists and the students of music. So what we do is in the first half, all the students are performing. They have like an ensemble. So he was talking about the Chinese ensemble. So mainly it is to promote the young students at school level who are learning music to just perform. So they do their instrumental stuff, and otherwise we concentrate on the Indian Hindustani music or even South Indian, basically any classic kind of music. And then sometimes you see the difference, and like the Chinese people, they had their Chinese, they have different notes, slightly different from India, the Hindustani music. So in the first half this time we have South Indian Carnatic music students, and they are going to perform different instruments like the flute, the dangam, the saxophone, which is like a little bit of fusion as well. So it will be very interesting. So they get a lot of confidence when they have a platform to perform, and so they have families, friends who come to support. So that is like a lot of encouragement and motivation to them. And then in the second half, we have a more professional level of artists performing. So this year we have Sunil Sarkar, who is a sitar player. And he's actually visiting Ottawa. They had a Festival of India in August. So he was coming here, and we requested him to come to GTA and come and perform at our so he's more than happy, and we are very excited because he's extremely talented. So that is one part, and then we have the vocalist, Dr. Vinay Bhide, who is actually a professor at the Carleton University in Ottawa. So yeah, they have very interesting backgrounds, and we can talk a little more about it.
Well, it's fantastic
at
you're
some
coming.
point,
So
yeah.
not only are we giving a platform for local artists, but you're giving them an opportunity to almost network with somebody who's established in the
Yeah.
industry, right? And that's not very often here you get that opportunity.
And also these the professionals who come for performance, when they have accompaniments, like they have tabla player or sometimes tanpura player, they are all professionals from the GTA.
Exactly.
So it gives them also a lot of opportunity to mix with the other professionals from wherever around, either in Canada or even if they are visiting. So it's a lot of good quality.
I was going to say, with classical music, sometimes I think with some people, because you're mentioning Bollywood and all that, we're so used to these mashups and fusion that when you think of classical, you think, oh, it's just one type of music, right? It's always going to sound the same. But I've noticed that depending on the artist, they all have their own flair when they're playing too. Like even a tabla player, you look at somebody who is a legend and you're like, it sounds a little bit different. It's still classical music, but they have their own just way of doing it. I don't know what it is exactly, but you can sense, you can feel it.
Yeah, because they have like the slow forms, and then they have the fast forms, and then they have two of them doing it together. They call it Jugalbandi, which makes it very interesting. Like a couple of years back, we had Shiv Kumar Sharma and Zakir Hussain, and they were performing together on the stage, and it was amazing the kind of audience that we had. Even though it was mainly Indian classical music, it was just amazing. It was a very diverse crowd that we had, and everyone was just very happy that they could have this opportunity to listen to them together.
And so this event, we want everyone to come out, right? It's not just geared towards a specific genre of people, not just the parents or the grandparents, but families can bring their youngsters out and get them to appreciate and be exposed to classical music.
And if
right?
they are students of any music school, we are giving them free tickets to come and be part of,
Very
because
cool.
we want them to see how other kids perform, so that in a couple of years, maybe they're ready to be on Arohi stage, right? So
Very
that's
encouraging.
our objective for the local music students. So I hope a lot of kids come and, with their parents and grandparents
Of course.
to listen. It's a small crowd. It's not like when you go to a Bollywood show, there are like 5,000 people. Here there's like 350 people. And it's become a personal experience. You can talk to the artist during the break.
More intimate.
Yes,
It
it's
is.
very, very intimate. And that's speciality of our program.
Of course.
And
Now,
also all these,
we know the students are able to get them for free, but I'm sure I want to make sure they don't all come in and expecting to be free. We do have tickets as well,
Yes.
right? So how do people get tickets?
So they can either call me or go to the website and buy tickets. And students, if they tell us, like they bring a letter or something from their
Student
music
ID
school,
maybe.
student ID, then they can get it free.
And tickets outdoors as well?
Yes,
Okay.
the
Because
VIP.
you know how it is with the
Yes.
families, right? It's sometimes hard to get everybody out. So you're like, oh, we have more than we expected.
Yeah, so we have two seatings, VIP, which is $50, and then general seating at $20 each.
Fantastic, very affordable. And Deepali, you were saying?
Yeah, no, I was just saying that some of these music courses, they also have as a part of their curriculum, go and listen to some of these performances. So it is a lot of educational value to it. At the same time, you form some more interest and you have some more questions. So it's like, in a way, Arohi means you are ascending in a way. So hopefully
And it's an experience,
good for
right? I mean,
youngsters.
just for people to come out for the first
Yeah.
time. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but hopefully you
Yeah.
do actually
Yeah.
end up liking it. You go, oh, okay. And then somehow, if you're a musician, even if you're not into classical music, I think when you're a lover of all things music, then
Yeah.
somehow they all kind of get
Yeah.
connected. So, okay, we have lots more to talk about, including this educational piece that we were just hinting at, but we got to take another little break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
With Malhar, 10, 10, 620.
With 1010-620, call India, Canada, and the United States for only $1 per call for unlimited minutes.
Welcome back to Asian Digest on ATN. I'm your host, Amit Dillon, chatting about the third annual Arohi Music Festival. And of course, I've got Mahesh and Deepali here with me. Now, both of you are part of the Malhar group, and part of your mandate is to educate the community, but especially children, about what is classical Indian music. Now, why is that so important to do?
So music is very important aspect of life. So if, for example, I work with seniors, the importance of therapeutic medicinal value for music. I used to do relaxation classes using music in the Middle East when I used to live there. So I know the different kinds, different genres of music. We have morning ragas, we have afternoon ragas, we have evening ragas. So the Indian music is divided into different ragas for the different times and different moods. But it's a special kind of genre where you need to get into the habit of listening and liking it. So in kids now, they have to go to maths. It's a stressed life for everyone. So the easiest way to relax is, my dad used to do is he used to put on the Indian classical music in the background, and I'm still doing my homework, and it used to calm me down. So that's what we are trying to bring in.
Amazing. I remember once when I'm myself is a student of music. Now, I started when I was young and we were in the South. So my dad said, okay, you should learn Carnatic music because now we are in the South. So I learned that for a few years, for about 4 years. And then when I came to Mumbai after that, I just didn't really seriously take it up again, like the Hindustani. And when I came to Canada about 9 years ago, I restarted that. And I'm just enjoying it so much. And I grew up listening to both my grandparents and even my parents listening to music all the time. And once when I was practicing music recently, my son says, and I was just listening to the drone instrument, the tanpura, and he's like, oh mom, I was studying, and can you turn the volume up because it makes me feel so relaxed. So that was like, oh wow, you really want to listen to that? I was so amazed. And of course, they also, when they were little, I got them into doing the keyboard and the piano. Any kind of music basically is therapeutic and relaxing. So why not your own roots? Go back to your roots. And you can always mix and, like the fusion that we have these days, the younger people can always develop that into what they like.
Well, kids especially have such an ear for music. I have our coworkers here that have children, and sometimes when we see them at our Christmas parties or whatnot, they're like so little and they're like making their own mixes, and like I'm like, this child's having training, and just on their own, they have such an ear for it that they're able to do it. So it's really, I think, important that the community, especially the South Asian community, like it's tough, right? There's only so many things that we can put our kids in, and a lot of things are extra, so we have to pay for it. It's not covered by the schools. So sometimes parents are like, oh, classical music, how are they ever going to use this in life, right? But there is some sort of benefit.
There is. And there are some schools in the US and Canada that have started including Indian music as a curriculum.
Cool.
So I think it's going to catch up as, meditation, yoga, all this builds value to your life.
Oh, absolutely.
And like art in itself, it's a
very
pure
important.
form of art.
Yes.
Right?
So right now, just so we clarify, so the state of classical music here in Canada, do you think that the government and just people in general support and appreciate classical music, or do we need to really make sure that this new generation of youth coming up, that they don't grow up in a world where maybe they don't get as much exposure?
So I think government, because we have such a huge country here and with so much little population, I think it should start from the home. Parents should encourage their kids. Most of the South Asian families encourage their daughters to get into dance, like Bharatanatyam or any kind of. So the boys are left out, really,
Why is that?
So they should encourage the boys to get into tabla or dole or some kind
Any
of music,
instrument,
even if it's
or
piano.
vocal,
It's fine. That's vocal, some music background has to be there to be successful in life.
And
I
hopefully
think.
come out to, hopefully
They can
live
come and
nearby
perform
and
at
come to
Arohi
your
in
restaurant.
future. And next year we are having plans to have lecture demonstration.
Okay.
So we'll get an artist who's a specialized or who's a very well-known tabla player. He's going to come and talk about tabla, how to play certain, tal. Kids or parents who really are interested.
We are starting lecture demonstrations as part of Arohi Music Festival. We've been doing this earlier in Hamilton during Spring Fest and other events, but we want to make it a part of Arohi Festival. So for
Very
next
cool.
year, it's going to be more interesting.
Okay, so let's make sure people are capturing all the information. So September 26th,
Yes.
third annual Aurora Festival again. Plug the venue again for me.
Chinmay Mission Auditorium, in Brampton.
From 4 to 8, right?
From 4 p.m. to
Okay.
8 p.m.
And if
yes.
people want to get tickets again, the
Yeah,
website?
the Malhar group, or they can go on Malhar group or call me on 416-835-9885.
Great.
It's
And then
Mahesh.
also, not just the music festival, but if people want to get involved, they can help support the group.
Yes,
How can they
yes,
do that?
that would be very nice. This year we hopefully have requested Mayor of Brampton, Linda Jeffrey, to come and support us. We are looking forward to, the city's involvement in supporting Arohi, and so we invite other groups, professional organizations and schools, music schools, to come and support us so that, we take Arohi further.
To the
and
next
help
level.
Yeah.
And it's not just the coming out, but people can donate to the
Yes.
group ride, and they can also be members. So how do
Yes.
they do that?
They can go on the website. We have a link where they can donate or become part of Mahar group, and have so many
Put
different.
an ad in the magazine. Or,
Yeah, we have.
like a
Springfest is very big for us. They can come and participate during Springfest, be part of it. So
Very
any
cool.
any suggestions to improve and take it to the next level, we are always welcome.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck to you.
Thank you,
We're
Amin.
excited. And folks, remember, it's all happening on September 26th, so make sure to check out the website for more information. Well, that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Dylan, signing off.